Aloha everybody, welcome once again to Homestead in Hawaii. Today we are going to dive more into bamboo construction. I wanted to go over the difference between bamboo pegs, using bolts, or using lashing to join bamboo together. So without much further ado, let's just dive into it, huh? So in a previous video we learned how to make bamboo pegs, and if you haven't had a chance to watch that video, feel free to check it out up here. But bamboo pegs are a vital tool for connecting bamboo. They are as ubiquitous as nails in bamboo construction, but they're not very strong. They can hold about 7 kilograms per like 3 square centimeters or something like that. And as you can see from right here, they can break pretty easy, yeah? Whereas we have bolts that we can use. I have a bolt like this where it's got a fixed head on one side, and then you use a nut and a washer on the other. Or you could get a threaded rod and then buy your own nuts and washers and make your own. I suggest using threaded rods for this purpose, but you can see I can't break this. This thing holds about a ton of weight per, a couple centimeters. And then we have lashing. Lashing is used to join two bamboo pieces together, especially when they're just sitting on top of each other. And this is a great way to join bamboo. It's very strong, but it doesn't last forever. It allows your buildings to move a little, whereas these make a little bit more of a rigid building, but these bolts can tend to split your bamboo and tend to rust out, whereas the lashing tends to just degrade sometimes over age. When using lashing, I would highly suggest paracord over any sort of natural fiber. I tried a bunch of different types of natural fibered rope in here on this little structure, and all of the natural fiber connections are getting really loose, whereas the ones I did with paracord are still as tight as the day that I tied them. So just some cheap paracord. I picked this up at Home Depot. To sum it all up, you're going to use a bamboo peg when you have two pieces of bamboo going inside of each other that are not load bearing. You're going to use bamboo lashing for two pieces of bamboo that are not load bearing but are on top of each other, like roof purlins perhaps. And you're going to use a bolt for pieces of bamboo that are either on top of each other or fit inside each other, where there is a lot of weight being carried. This is going to be the main thing you use in those spots there. So let's go over how we install one of these on these little sample pieces of bamboo. What you're going to need is a bolt, a threaded rod of some sort, or you can have a prefabricated bolt. You're going to need some nuts, some washers. You're going to need a drill with a drill bit. You're going to need a wrench, a sawzall or a grinder. I have a little piece of bamboo to tighten things down. I have some lashing and a hammer. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna go under, over, and back under. And we want to meet up kind of together here. So if your knots are off, go ahead and make another one. And then we're going to insert this tool here, and we'll use it to tighten our joint. This is just to hold it down for us while we get the job done, yeah? Okay, and ideally when you are connecting two pieces of bamboo, you are as close to a node as possible. So here we are close to 2 nodes. These nodes are closer together than some other bamboos where they're further apart, but as close as we can get to the node will make it stronger. It won't collapse in on itself. Woo! Okay. All right, we got that. All right, this is good bamboo, very thick walled and hard to drill through. All right, so I like to test out my bolts and see how long they are. This one is obviously too short, so we're gonna use the threaded rod. Okay, so we got it through on both sides here. Okay, so we're gonna take our threaded rod and put a washer down and then throw on a nut. And we'll tighten that down. And then same thing on the other side. But what I like to do is I like to get one side of the threaded rod as close as possible to its end point. That way I don't waste too much of the rod and will maybe use more later. So you see here on this side, I like to have the nut as far out as possible. Hammer that in, and then we'll bring this side all the way down. Okay, and then tighten it down with your wrench. You don't want to go too far to crush the bamboo, but you do want to tighten it down nice and tight. Okay, take off your lashing here. Cut off the other side, and we are done. All right, so that's how you join bamboo with bolts. Some people would even go so far as drilling a hole in the node and filling it with concrete to make it even stronger. That's not completely necessary, but if you're that kind of person, go for it. So I hope you enjoyed the little bit of a differences between pegs, bolts, and lashing, and how to install the actual bolts. And in future videos we'll go over some lashing techniques, and then pretty soon we'll finally start building. I'm excited to do that. I know I've been talking about it for a while, but it's finally time to get doing it. My son gave me a deadline. He said, you got to get it done before Christmas. So I gotta live up to my word, right? All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, plant your finger on that like button. And until next time, auf we ho.